Eugene "Big U" Henley's year had already been marked by turbulence, uncertainty, and a long list of headlines that blurred the line between rumor and reality. For months, his name had been echoing across blogs, hip-hop commentary circles, and legal reports. But last night, Friday, October 31st, that storm of controversy allegedly took a heartbreaking and tragic turn. According to KTLA and several online reports circulating through social media and urban news platforms, Big U's son, Jabari "Baby Wee" Henley, also known by some as U-Dog, was reportedly shot and killed outside a smoke shop in Los Angeles. The streets of South LA are no strangers to tragedy, but this one struck a deeper chord, not only because of who the victim might have been, but because of what his family name represents. The Henley name carries both reverence and fear, a name synonymous with decades of power, influence, and street legacy. Still, as of the police department's latest statement, the Los Angeles Police Department had not confirmed the identity of the victim. The victim, described as a 34-year-old black male, walked up to the suspect vehicle when an unknown suspect or suspects shot at him, a police spokesperson said in a statement. That brief, detached phrasing couldn't begin to capture the chaos of what unfolded at that intersection, nor the ripple effect it would create. The incident took place near the corner of 69th Street and Figueroa Street, an area many residents know for its long, complicated history, a stretch that has seen community events, protests, shootings, and police raids. For some, it's a place of survival. For others, a symbol of cycles that never seem to end. Eyewitnesses described a sudden burst of violence. It was said that Jabari, if indeed it was him, approached the suspect's car as if recognizing someone, or possibly trying to have a conversation. No one could say exactly what words were exchanged. Then, without warning, gunfire erupted. The sound echoed between the buildings, scattering bystanders and sending waves of panic across the street. The vehicle sped off immediately after the shots, vanishing into the night as people ran for cover, and cell phones came out to record the aftermath. A grim, modern ritual. Police arrived shortly after, cordoning off the area with yellow tape. The flashing red and blue lights illuminated the still body lying on the pavement. Medics checked for vital signs, but it was too late. The man, believed by many to be Jabari, was pronounced dead at the scene. Even in a city so accustomed to violence, the news spread with unusual speed. Within an hour, social media accounts dedicated to hip-hop culture and LA street news began posting about the shooting, attaching photos of Jabari alongside Big U, speculating whether the rumors were true. On Twitter, on Instagram, and even on TikTok, tributes and disbelief filled the timelines. Some fans refused to believe it. Others, hardened by years of seeing similar stories, accepted it with weary resignation. The LAPD made no statement confirming whether the shooting was gang-related, though the location, the circumstances, and the names attached inevitably fueled that suspicion. It's no secret that Big U, despite claiming to have turned his life around years ago, still carries the shadow of his past affiliations. His name is forever linked with the Rollin' 60s Crips, one of Los Angeles' most notorious street gangs. But over time, he became more than a gang figure. He became a community force, a controversial one, but undeniably powerful. He worked with at-risk youth, launched community programs, and tried to position himself as a reformed leader. Now, while Big U sat behind bars awaiting trial on a massive RICO case, news broke that his son may have been murdered. For a man already facing accusations of orchestrating criminal activity, this was an unbearable twist, the kind of pain that blurs the line between karma, coincidence, and tragedy. The RICO case against Big U has been one of the most talked about legal sagas in recent Los Angeles history. Federal prosecutors allege that he played a significant role in coordinating illegal activities, everything from robbery and extortion to embezzlement and misuse of federal funds. The case paints him as a man who never truly left his past behind, someone who allegedly continued to pull strings even as he tried to maintain the image of a rehabilitated mentor. But to those who know him personally, Eugene Henley's story is more complicated. Before his arrest, he was often seen mentoring young men, speaking at community centers, and appearing in podcasts discussing the need for change in the streets of South Central. He was part of a generation of men who had grown up surrounded by gang culture and were now trying, at least publicly, to rewrite their legacies. Now, however, with this shooting, that line between the man he once was and the man he claimed to be has blurred beyond recognition. As the night of October 31st wore on, police continued combing the scene, collecting shell casings, and reviewing nearby security footage. The sound of distant sirens and murmuring crowds filled the air. Friends of the victim arrived, some visibly shaken, others angry, yelling at reporters to back off. A few women wept near the tape, their cries echoing down the street. Online, the reaction was instant and polarizing. Some people expressed genuine sympathy for Big U and his family, recognizing the pain of losing a child regardless of circumstance. Others saw it as a grim inevitability, a reminder that the streets eventually take back everything they give. In the comment sections, speculation mixed with conspiracy theories. Some claimed the shooting was a targeted hit meant to send a message. Others suggested it could be retaliation linked to the ongoing RICO investigation. At the center of it all was Big U, sitting somewhere in a prison cell, possibly unaware of the chaos unfolding outside. Sources close to his circle claimed that he had been struggling with stress in recent weeks, as his legal team prepared for the complex web of charges against him. Now, to hear that his son might be dead, and in such a brutal way, added another layer of tragedy to an already devastating year. Big U's legal battle has also entangled other notable names from Los Angeles music and street scene. Among them are Brick Baby and Loose Cannon, both of whom were also arrested under the same sweeping federal RICO indictment. Back in June, Brick Baby had to publicly deny rumors that Loose Cannon had been attacked or stabbed while in custody, an example of how misinformation and fear continue to swirl around the case. The internet has turned the court proceedings into a kind of dark soap opera, with fans, bloggers, and critics dissecting every rumor and leaked document. Still, despite the noise, very few concrete updates have emerged in recent months. The legal machinery moves slowly, and as of now, Eugene Henley's trial is scheduled for May 2026. Until then, he remains in custody, maintaining his innocence. Through his attorney, he has denied every allegation: the RICO violations, robbery, extortion, embezzlement, fraud, tax evasion, and misuse of federal funds. He insists he is a victim of a system that refuses to believe a man like him could change. Whether or not that's true, the events of October 31st have now cast a long shadow over everything. The death of his alleged son, Jabari, could complicate things further. In the world of criminal justice, public perception matters. Jurors are human. They watch the news. They read the rumors. And now, the narrative of Big U's life, once about redemption, is back in the headlines, painted again with blood and tragedy. The days following the shooting were filled with confusion. The police continued to withhold the victim's name pending next-of-kin notification, though by then, nearly everyone online had already decided it was Jabari. Friends of the family shared memories of him, a man who, despite growing up in the shadow of his father's legacy, had tried to build something of his own. He was known for his charisma, his love of cars, and his sense of humor. He wasn't a public figure like his father, but in certain circles he was respected.